Hello, I'm Juan Davis, Chief Creative Officer at KCT and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. A number of schools in Southern California now are planning to go back in person. Carla has the details on what is required and which schools have applied and qualified so far.
Yeah, in Orange County, the acting health officer announced that 24 private elementary schools and one school district, Los Alamitos Unified, have been approved by both the county and the state for these reopening waivers, which means more than 9,000 students have the green light to go back to school. To get the approval, the schools have to make these really detailed safety plans. So it's not going to be totally back to normal for these students. You'll still see precautions like masks, social distancing, hand washing, and sanitizing. But still, a principal at one of these schools told me they'll be starting classes in person 5 days a week on Monday. In San Bernardino County, there's another school that is actually opened with one of these waivers in the Lucerne Valley Unified School District. They opened with hybrid learning, and the superintendent told me it was nice to see everyone back on campus, but it definitely wasn't a normal first day back. Circles were painted on the ground to keep kids apart from each other, and you weren't allowed to hug your friends or your teachers. Only air hugs were allowed there.
It has been a long and dismal pandemic summer for movie theaters. John updates us on where the industry stands.
Well, two new movies, one about the animated character SpongeBob SquarePants and the other a Russell Crowe thriller called Unhinged, opened in Canadian theaters last weekend. And even if the box office returns weren't huge, it was clear that some people are ready to re-enter the multiplex. This coming weekend, we're going to see if people will turn out down here. Two of the nation's biggest chains, AMC and Regal, will start unlocking their doors in some states, not yet in California. And patrons and those that attend will have to wear masks, except when they're eating popcorn, and respect social distancing guidelines. And the hope is that there will be enough theaters open by September 3rd when Christopher Nolan's Tenet arrives in theaters. To lure people back to its screens, AMC even dropped its admission price to just 15 cents per ticket to see some older films. And that's about the price of a movie ticket back when the last pandemic hit us in 1918.
You know, the one refuge for many of us in this pandemic has been spending time outdoors. Well, right now, that might not be the best idea. Jacob explains our worrisome air quality.
Yeah, depending on where you live in California, there are plenty of areas where I just would not hang out outside right now. And that includes here in the northern San Fernando Valley. I could see, looking out a window right now, I could see down the street. It is hazy, it is gross. And the air is obviously terrible because of the hundreds of wildfires burning across the state, which is not really normal. It is climate change that has gotten us here. And if you look at a map, you can actually see the wildfire smoke. It has traveled across the western US, all the way up into Canada. It's peaked down into Mexico. And everyone should be concerned because wildfire smoke is super toxic and can have lifelong health impacts, especially on young kids who are exposed. Because we have a baby, I know until things clear up, we're putting up plastic sheeting over leaky doors where we have an air purifier we've turned on. But let's not forget, there are also a lot of people in California who don't have that option to hunker down, like essential workers, often immigrants working in fields, processing produce.
We are coming up on the 50th anniversary of a really important event in Southern California, the Chicano Moratorium. Chava learned more today about plans to commemorate these anti-Vietnam War protests.
Yeah, I went out today to Ruben Salazar Park where a press conference was held announcing the activities for this year's Chicano Moratorium anniversary. Due to COVID-19 concerns, this year's actions will be taking shape as a car rally starting in Pico Rivera and driving down Whittier Boulevard, ultimately ending in Ruben Salazar Park in East Los Angeles, where 50 years ago, the Chicano Moratorium March erupted in violence as marchers clashed with LA sheriffs. Guadalupe Carrasco Cardona, co-chair of the 50th Anniversary Organizing Committee for the Chicano Moratorium, in a statement to the press, spoke on the significance of the march's anniversary in this current moment. So this year, during the 50th anniversary of the Chicano Moratorium, the march will be held in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Thank you, Chava. And you're absolutely right. The Chicano Moratorium is a seminal moment in LA, California, and US history. And thank you all at the KPCC and LAist newsroom. And thank you for tuning in. Take care of your health, your family, your neighbor, and we'll see you tomorrow.